Donald Trump's rally was an opportunity for him to do one thing that he's been doing over and over, one last attempt to convince his crowds that he doesn't care if they live or die. So take a look at this video that he tweeted out comparing his rally with Joe Biden's. Okay, so now we had to take the music out of that. You should understand that the music they were playing in the video was Fortunate Son, which is a Vietnam era song, an anti-war song about how regular low and working class Americans had to go and fight and die in Vietnam. But people with economic and political power were able to get their fortunate sons to not have to go. And having this draft dodger helicopter in to Fortunate Son is just perfect. My theory is that Donald Trump, he's been cursed by a witch for a long time, and he can't play campaign songs that don't own him in some way for the rest of his life. And so, yeah, he's got this massive crowd. A bunch of those people are probably gonna end up getting sick. And were there any concerns about that? Well, now we're gonna go to that other video. Notice to the director, we've got Hogan Gidley being asked about hospital capacity since a lot of these rallies have ended up with spikes of coronavirus in their wake.
Hospitals in Wisconsin are near capacity. And so does that give you any pause, or the vice president any pause about going there and holding a big rally?
No, it doesn't. The vice president has the best doctors in the world around him. They've obviously contact traced and have come to the conclusion it's fine for him to be out on the campaign trail. The American people have the right under the First Amendment to peaceably assemble too. The fact is, we are seeing some good news about coronavirus.
Okay, so that I think is the ultimate Trump campaign message. Like, she asked, are you worried about the fact that people are getting sick after these rallies? And their answer is, no, we're gonna be cool. We've got doctors, we'll be fine. He didn't even apparently think about the fact that we're not talking about you, you big idiot. We're talking about the regular Trump supporters that are gonna get sick and go to the hospital and die as a result of it. Man, that is tone deaf. That is Kardashian tone deaf.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's inconceivable to them that they look out for the interests of the American people and aren't just thinking about themselves. I mean, again, that comes back to the entire coronavirus strategy. It's really remarkable how little they care about actually improving people's lives. And I know past Republican administrations, they at least thought and bought into their own ideology a little bit more and got high on their own supply. But the Trump administration, all they care about is the appearance of winning. All they care about is the appearance of success. And they're not even smart enough, or they don't even have enough fortitude to actually put in the work to achieve that success.
Yeah.
And so that's all we've seen with the coronavirus pandemic, and they're insular and only care about themselves. Who cares if people are getting sick at their rallies? All we care about is that the American people think we're doing a good job with coronavirus.
Yeah, and generally they're better at hiding the fact that they're only worried about their own lives. And Emma's not going to know what I'm talking about here, but we have a theory. It's the Dr. Johnny Bananas theory, and it's that Donald Trump and high profile, high power Republicans are always going to be protected from the consequences of everything, including things like COVID, because they get experimental monkey medicine that'll protect them from it. That's why he recovered so fast. That's why they're going to be just fine. And the con is that they have convinced their followers that they will get the monkey meds, but they're not going to. Dr. Johnny Bananas is not coming to your hospital, to your tent with hospital beds that's been set up. You're not going to Walter Reed, dude. You are going to be left to die, as so many Americans have, as close to 1,000 still are every single day. And unfortunately, Dr. Johnny Bananas, that con has been working on the American people for some time. Hogan Gidley just sort of made it a little bit too obvious there. But anyway, if that wasn't clear enough for his rally goers, that you have a First Amendment right to go and then get sick, and we're not going to do anything to stop that from happening. If COVID isn't bad enough, they've got a new way that their rally goers can die, and we found that out immediately after yesterday's rally, with NBC News reporting that hundreds of President Donald Trump's supporters were left in the freezing cold for hours after a rally at an airfield in Omaha, Nebraska on Tuesday night. with some walking around 3 miles to waiting buses and others being taken away in ambulances. According to dispatches from Omaha's police department, recorded by radio communications platform Broadcastify, at least 30 people, including the elderly, an electric wheelchair user, and a family with small children were among those requiring medical attention after hours of waiting in the cold. One officer advised 8 to 9 elderly people. They said that there was an elderly party who was frozen cold, unable to move with an altered mental status. Another officer over that communications thing said that they had an elderly male down. So apparently they just didn't plan well, didn't care to plan well. And so some of their rally attendees had to wait for hours and were literally being treated for hypothermia after Donald Trump had jetted away from that airfield.
Is that not the crystallization of everything we've been talking about there? I mean, I don't even know what to add to that.
Yeah, they don't care. Like, they don't care. And it's not just Trump. Mitch McConnell is adjourned. He's done. He's good. No aid, nothing. You know what? And the thing I said this on the show yesterday, it's one thing to not care about helping the American people, but he is revealing to us how sure he is that it's not going to impact the election, at least as far as he and other embattled Republican senators are concerned. Like, he doesn't even need to pretend to care. He doesn't need to give a sham, tiny, ineffective aid bill. He doesn't need to do anything because they have set up a system where they feel like they can win no matter what, even if they leave people to suffer and die in the worst domestic catastrophe that we've had in our entire lives.
Well, he is running against Amy McGrath, so.
Yeah, that helps. That helps.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.